It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm your host, Jamillah Lodge, and you, of course, are Dr. Gina Tucker. And today, you are the president of the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby Committee.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to be talking about.
Absolutely.
So let's
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year. So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming the president.
Well, it's been a lifetime of a journey. It started when I was just a little girl because I was born in October, and the following May, my dad had me in the car with he and my mom going off to the races, and so it's been a lifetime for me. I've been in the car, if you will, the front car, all my life, and I believe I'm now in the front car. People would see me, and I took 1 year to not be in the car and actually came down on my feet. So I ran it in 1994. So yes, everyone is always shocked to learn that I actually did do this
How
run.
did that go?
It was crazy, and I don't know how people do it over and over. But I told my dad, I said, it's no way that I would be president or leading the committee
and not
having
experienced
it. So I know what it feels like to get to that last mile or 2 miles. I thought I was going to pass out at fire station, and I dragged myself in. So I actually did it and completed it. Yeah.
Well done.
I know,
That's
right?
impressive.
So
I'm impressed.
I know. Me too. I'm impressed
I was
too,
just cheering you guys on.
I'm impressed too. So I feel like everyone has to do it at least once. Yes.
Really?
Let's go. Let's get it done.
Girl.
Yeah. Let's get it done.
Because now you can do half, right?
Yes, you can do a 2 relay. You can do a 2-person relay, which is half, or you can do a 4-person relay.
Maybe I'll do the 4.
Yes, that's something we've created in my time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you for those
people like you.
It's for people like me because trust and believe running has never been my thing. But you're saying everybody has to do it at least.
But
once.
Everybody should at least do something.
Well, I
you should at least You should at least participate in this event because it's ours. So because it's Bermuda's event on Bermuda's Day, it's not right. Although I really, really love and appreciate the spectators. They play a huge part.
We cheer them on.
Yes,
when you feel like you can't go, you're like, go.
But I also think that everybody should have a turn in doing something.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have to talk myself into doing it just so I can have my turn. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the Derby.
So it started because of a bet between the expats, and they said, well, let's run down, and they just got together on this occasion and just came down, typically from somewhere on the island, and it might have ended on Court Street. And it has been now we're in 116 years. So we're going way, way, way back when they were actually doing that. These were the people who were here, and the locals who were joining in. So you might have had about 20 runners, 25, but they kept it going. And so, over the years, it's been going and going, and it became an event for that day that Bermudians just enjoyed. At the end of the event, and me now growing up with this event, at the end of the event, there was always like a fair. And so the runners would just hang out and family would come and it would be a fair. And then I believe it was the pit report that said, hey, listen, these people, the Bermuda people, they need a day to have fun, and let's make that Bermuda Day. And so it was attached to that day because it was already there. People were already having fun. And so that's when we started having the parade and everybody that joined in. And that was the year that the race stopped being a point-to-point, well, not a point-to-point, but stopped being from different places on the island. So it could run from Pembroke to St. David's.
Got you.
Or from Pembroke to Somerset, or from Somerset to Botanical Gardens, or it had all of these different. That's why it was fun, right? It was like a fun race, and so it was going all over the place. But once we started with the parade, once the parade was attached to it, it went to Somerset.
Got you.
And stayed, and so it came from Somerset down for many, I think about probably 30 years, or more, a little more, before we decided to give St. George's a turn, which was in 2015.
Okay,
So
I'm sure they were like, finally.
Well, they had been begging, people had been begging and saying, how come we don't get a turn? And so just right that and we decided to keep it in alignment with cup matching. So we're in St. George's when cup matches in St. George's and vice versa.
Oh, which makes sense. So it's all related.
Yeah.
It's all about the Bermuda culture and things like that. But yeah, it's always a good time, right? I, as a spectator,
yes,
go out with my family. We set up our chairs and our snacks and cheer people on.
Oh, gosh.
So this year, as a BDC representative, we are now the lead sponsor this year.
Absolutely.
And so we're thrilled about that.
It's exciting.
But can you talk a little bit about how that all came to be?
Well, last year we were really, looking, we lost a sponsor and we were looking for some sponsorship, and BEDC really kind of came to the table, and it was really awesome because of what BED stands for, where it's located, just its whole engagement in the community, especially in the zones where we are. Yeah. And yes, because we had moved to Court Street, that's probably what started it. That's what it was. We moved to Court Street, and then BEDC is prime time, right? And so that was exciting, and it's only fitting. It's really cool that BEDC would be a partner with the Derby, especially we start in an economic zone, on both ends. And then we end in an economic zone at this point. So it's been a really good relationship that has come out of this move into Court Street, which has been its own journey.
And I would agree. I think for us, because we support small businesses and in our economic empowerment zones, it's not just about the businesses, but it's also about the community too. So speaking from the BEDC perspective, we thought it was a great opportunity to do some give back to the community in other ways besides supporting small businesses. But because it ends in the zones, you mentioned it's like a party afterwards.
Absolutely.
You're like, you completed it, and so now let's enjoy. So talk a little bit about how you see the Derby contributing to the small businesses that are in those areas.
Yeah, they have, it all started with just the facelift that began on Court Street with the businesses. It looks spectacular. And then, of course, they've opened up their businesses and welcomed persons in, the runners, the spectators, and so forth. Everybody has come in. Spinning Wheel, Jamaican Grill, they are like prime time. They reminded me of a big football. I'm trying to think of it. Something where you got the prime seats. Where you got the seats cost about $1,500, $9,000. Like a Broadway show. Broadway. That's what I'm thinking. The $9,000 seats are right there at Jamaican Grill and Spinning Wheel, and they've really opened up their businesses to allow people to enjoy the finish line within their businesses. And then, of course, we'll have vendors who will be setting up along Court Street. And so the runners, we encourage them to bring your money, pack your money
in. Your money in your little fanny, little fanny pack.
and come on down, because they'll be ready to, serve you. And then, of course, these spectators. Many will leave Cedar Avenue and walk over and see the finish line. So they'll see them come down Cedar Avenue, and then they get to see them finish, which is really nice.
Yes. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it this year, especially it'll be a little different of an experience as a lead sponsor, right? So we get some of those VIP seats you're talking about. So one of the other things that is also being introduced this year is the Senior Classic.
But that was introduced last year.
It was. Okay, talk a little bit about that.
Actually, that started from Norris, and my husband just showed me, I believe it was this morning or yesterday morning, that he had passed, Norris Brangman.
Yeah.
He called, and I wanted to wish his family condolences, because he's always been a supporter of me as the president, and then, of course, of the Derby. And he called and said, us seniors, we just want to do a little something and be a part of the race. And so it started out as an idea for allowing them to have a little space in this event. And then we said, you know what? Others were asked, and government last year participated. And so we've created a 2-mile walk run.
That's the one for me. That's the one.
That's a nice one to just loop into and do a nice good 2 mile, and it comes down Cedar Avenue. Now everybody wants the Cedar Avenue experience, so you get that when you do the 2 mile. You feel like
you're in it. You're done, and you get a number and everything, right?
Oh yeah, everything.
Okay.
No, so that's a good one.
You was holding out on me.
Yes.
Now.
So that one is really, we've just started it, and so people are getting used to it, the idea of it, and so you can just, come in and do a little 2 mile. Starts at down the bottom of Lane Hill.
Okay. I think that's great.
Yeah,
I think it's
one.
great because the Derby has been around for 116 years now. And the community changes, what it looks
that's
like.
Right, that's right.
People's needs change. Yes, you're going to have those runners that can run from start to finish.
Yes.
You probably could run back if you let them.
Absolutely.
But then there's some of us, me, that, are not in a position to do that. So to create options for that participation, I think is genius.
Yes.
And kudos to you for doing that. So that's something I'll talk to myself about.
Yes, you can do that one. You can pull that off.
Yes.
You can pull that off.
So let's talk a little bit about it. You mentioned that the starting points alternate now between
That's right. St.
George's and Somerset.
Correct.
And so from your perspective, how do you think that it supports the businesses in those areas?
Well, everyone gets a turn, right? And so, again, the St. George's people will be alive early in the morning, because many of them might not even come out to the race because they would have to come all the way up to Barnes Corner, and into town to actually see the race. So this gives them their chance to really open up, be alive, be open and welcoming of all. We will have all of the runners start. They will come there to start. But there also sometimes their families are there with them and so forth.
Sure.
But I do have to say that the roads close at 7:30. So once you're in, and you stay that long past 7:30, then you can't get out.
Right. So you gotta stay. You gotta go buy something.
Exactly. You just can't hang out.
You don't have no other choice.
Absolutely. So I just think that it's a chance for the businesses in the community, in the area, to just come out and do whatever they can. Enjoy it.
Yeah. I agree because sometimes, when you're in Bermuda, you're like, oh, St. George is so far, or Somerset is so far. And so when you create these types of events that bring all of these hundreds, if not thousands of people to the area, it's huge opportunity for the businesses in those areas who may not typically see that influx of people on a day-to-day basis. So it's a great opportunity for them to take full advantage of that.
Absolutely.
And that they stuck. They can't leave anyway.
Exactly.
So they got to do something. No, but I love that. And I love the idea of it switching to give each
Yes. That's
each
been really
area.
good. That's been really a good thing that we did.
Yes. So now, part of the Derby is, like you said, is community focused. So people come out. Tell me about what you enjoy most.
Oh, me.
Yes.
Okay. So it's so much for me. I mean, I'm up bright and early. I mean, it doesn't stop, right? It's an all year event for me, planning and preparing and working with the committee. So that I really like. The committee is special. And so on the day, though, I'm always at the start, usually there. And so I get to mingle with the runners before they leave. And then in the cars, I get to see that start. That's really, really nice for me. I like that. And then I think, coming down and seeing all the spectators coming from St. George's, the Flats area, it has to be 1 million people. Do we have 1 million people in it?
It feels that way,
It feels
right?
like 1 million people in Flats and Barnes Corner. It feels like another 1 million when we're coming from Somerset. But then always Cedar Avenue is very, very, very. Front Street is special, and Cedar Avenue is very, very special. And then, of course, I get to see the finish.
Yes.
I mean, I get to actually see the person finish, and we really, when I think about it, I'm hanging with the front runner the entire race. Front runners. Last year we had really like 2 or 3 who were hanging in there. So that's always special for me, and I enjoy that. I enjoy having this view of the race. I don't think ever, I'm trying to remember, watched it from the sidelines ever.
Wow, you've always been in that.
In a car.
Even since you was a baby.
Right.
You was in the car.
I was in the car. So I've never stood on the sidelines and watched runners go by.
Right.
That's a whole different experience, and maybe I'll do that sometime in the future. I guess I need to do it at some point. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
that's a scary thought.
It's so far in advance. We don't even think about that.
Oh gosh.
So let's talk about the people, the numbers of people.
Yes, yes.
And like you said, it's a year-long preparation, right? As soon as it ends, you're starting all over
Yes, we are.
again. So typically, how many registrations do you get?
Well, we usually plan for about 700 or 750 individual runners. Those are the persons who do the full race.
Yes.
Start to
That's
finish.
amazing to me.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good bit. And many of them sign up at the last minute. We love it. We're like, come at the last minute and sign up. They have a dare. They go out at night and somebody says, I dare you.
I dare you to do it tomorrow.
And they do.
You
They
ain't
come and
practiced
sign
at all.
up.
I dare you to do
Exactly. And then we'll have several relay teams, right?
Okay.
So altogether we could have about 800, 900. Last year we topped 1,000 people who are participating.
Yes.
So that includes
Different levels.
That's
the
right.
Seniors.
That's right. All of the categories
Okay.
within there, and then the different events.
Okay.
The full marathon and half marathon, and then the 2 relay.
So registration is open now. And so are you saying to me that registration stays open the day before the race?
No,
So people
the day, 2 days before, on the Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes, so
So get
pick
all
up.
your dares in
That's
now.
right, and that's right. And they come up. Some people try to get it the day before, but it's very difficult. Mr. De Silva from BTS Timing.
Yeah.
He shuts it down on the Wednesday before, 2 days before the race. And it's very hard to get a number after that. So please, people, please have your bet. Have your bet on the Tuesday night.
So that you can
get Wednesday, so you can get this number.
That's right. That's right. So talk a little bit. You're mentioning a couple of names, but talk a little bit about the team behind the scenes that makes it all come together.
I have to talk about. I want to talk about the volunteers first because they are not with us all year, although they're with us all year. We rely on them to show up on the day. So as soon as we say, okay, it's that time of year again, they get in position and they do what they do. And we couldn't do this without the volunteers, really and truly. But the core team consists of Roger, who is our race director, Renee is our treasurer, and then we have Natalie, who is everything. She does a lot of social media. Liz is there. They're doing everything. Kiana's there. Morris and my brother, Kim, are there. Kiana's mom. And so we have, I'm trying to think if I've left anybody else. I think that's it. It's really just a core team, and we all do everything. So even though Renee handles the treasuring, will be there putting people on the ferry. And even though Roger is the race director, he is making sure that the volunteer sign up is working, and he's doing all sorts of things. So we all do everything, even though we have our little wheels.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what makes it work. And have you guys been working together for a long time? So this team...
Pretty much a good bit. I took over when Derek, my son, was a baby, and he's 24 now. So it's been about 22, 23 years, and he was a baby when I started. And so... many of them, Roger was there before me. Roger was working with my dad. He goes way, way back because he was the one who was able to do the technical side, get the numbers in. When computers were in their infancy, that's what Roger was operating the little thing in the back and bringing the technical side to the race. So he's been around for a while, and Morris, and of course my brother has been around. But we've been hanging together for a good bit now. Okay. And so as you can imagine, after about 20-something years, it's time to be thinking about succession.
Oh. Is that what we're doing?
And so yes, we do have to be mindful of that. I mean, I'll be getting up there a little bit this year, and so I really want to ensure that the race this event goes from strength to strength.
Of course.
We've done so much in the last 20 years. It's time for some new blood,
right,
if you will, to do even more.
Right. Yeah. And so are you looking within the network group, or is this an invitation to those who might be interested?
Well, I do both. Look in the group, invitation, or somebody, however that works.
They got to pay their dues, though.
They do. You have to pay your dues.
You got to run this race.
And you have to feel the spirit of it.
Yes.
It's something special, and it's not. We can't give it to you.
No, you have to have it.
You have to have it, right?
Because I feel it. I see it in you when you talk about it. There's this passion. There's this love for community. It's not just about the race itself, but it's about all of the things that the race represents.
Absolutely.
Bringing this whole community together to run the whole of Bermuda.
Absolutely. I saw someone, and they saw me, and they said, "Oh, that's the only race I do." And I said, "Oh, wow." They said, "Yeah, it's the best race." And I'm like, "It's on a holiday." So we take it seriously.
Yeah.
That, like you said, it's an entire community day or event. It's not just runners.
Right.
You know, it's spectators, it's runners, it's the community, it's everything that Bermuda stands for. And so, you have to have a special kind of heart for it.
Yes. Okay, y'all heard it here now. So for those who don't know, how could they not? Take us through the day of the. So what is the day? What time does it start? And what time does it finish?
Yes, it is on Friday. It's moved to Fridays. It's been about 4 or 5 years now. It's been on a Friday.
Okay.
And that's so that children and everybody don't have to go to school the next day.
Right, the next day.
And
with
so,
the feet hurting.
That's right. And all of that. This year it's Friday the 23rd. It will start at 8:30. The roads again will close at 7:30, so people need to know that. And then it will finish at Bernard's. Wow, could finish at Court Street, and we will have the award ceremony at around 10:30.
Okay.
So and then, but the shoot won't close until about 12:30.
Right.
So we do give. So that's 2 hours. 2 hours after the start of the race, and then it's another 2 hours to just give people time to come in.
Right.
And so that really kind of wraps it up for us. I change my clothes and then I go to the parade.
Okay. I'm like, still?
That's right.
I would imagine you just going being like just laying horizontal somewhere, just chilling. But
I find a seat and I do just that. Go to the parade, find a chair, somebody, and then sit there. That's it.
It's like, bring me the food, bring me the beverages.
Yep.
No, but it's always an exciting, I think, event that everyone seems to look forward to, whether you're spectating or actually participating in the full race or the half race or however you do it. So I think there's something for everyone. What are some of the things that you would like to see as you look ahead to the future or for the successor?
Absolutely.
What are some of those things?
Well, it's, we've done a lot. And so, again, how do we really grow it and expand it? I think I want to say expand. It's not necessarily, we came to the crossroads. Is this an event where we went international runners, right? And it's kind of leaning across as, no, this is not that day. This is not International Race Weekend happens in January, but this day is about Bermuda celebrating Bermuda and Bermudians. So yes, participants are expected to be here 6 months, at least 6 months. But I see opportunity. However, I do want to encourage someone else to take it on.
Come up with.
I think the Court Street opportunity, I think the finish line has a lot of opportunity. And so I probably would be encouraging that kind of growth.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll be encouraging it too because, of course, again, it's in one of our economic empowerment zones. And there's a lot of history and culture on Court Street in Northeast Hamilton. And so if we're able to capitalize on that, I mean, we've just done this wall series, art walls.
Beautiful.
Did you see that gun bay?
Oh my God, spectacular.
It's beautiful.
That's spectacular.
And so it's those kinds of things that we want to see expanded on and expanded upon. So I can see how the Derby can continue to build on that. And as we beautify the areas and all of that, it just becomes more a part of that day and making it more of what it is. Now, one of the things that I'm looking forward to, I'm not going to commit to anything because I was going to do it, but I'm not going to do it because you probably going to hold me to it.
I will hold you to it.
Okay,
all of Bermuda will.
All right, so I'm not ready yet. I won't do that. I'll commit to cheering people on.
Oh, my God.
But I do think on my bucket list, I should do what you said. Everybody should experience it. And I have a daughter, and we were talking about it, like, should we? Should we do it?
And, you know, part of, you know, the Derby is a fun event. It's a rite of passage, I think. But it's also a way to help people be healthy.
Yeah,
right.
That's true,
and so preparing the journey of getting to the start line of this event is a journey unto itself. Right. And so preparing for it, doing your runs, you feel better. You know, you wouldn't wake up tomorrow and just go to the start line. You're going to do a bit before that.
Yeah. Well, you should do you don't just pass out.
There are a few crazy people.
You said that I
love them. We love them. And St. John's, thank you to St. John's, because they're always there ready to collect them and take them. We don't encourage that. But of course, this is that kind of race. It's a holiday, and so people just have the fun with that. But preparing for this event, I have to say thank you to Icelandic, thank you to Gatorade, Dunkless. But please hydrate. I was out there this morning, and it's like all of a sudden it's hot.
Yes.
It is.
Yep.
And we're just at early May, and I was out there early, and this race starts a little late. That's one thing that people keep asking about, is moving it even earlier.
So earlier than 8:30.
Yeah. At one point it was 9:30. So we've been inching it back. We've inched it back to 8:30. It was 9, and then it was 8:30. And then I have runners saying, can we please start at 7:30? And I say, then I have to be up at 3 a.m.
And what do you think that is? Is it because so they can get it over and done with?
Because of the heat. Because of the heat. Yeah, because of the heat. And so it's hot. It's hot now. It was hot at 6:30 today.
Yeah.
Right? And so imagine 2 weeks from now at 8:30, or imagine, you know, on that day at 8:30.
Correct.
It's very warm.
Right.
I believe was it last year? Last year 2 years ago it rained, but last year was a nice breeze. Every now and then.
Yeah.
But it's humid. It's hot.
Yeah.
So they just want it earlier. So.
We
would have to be begging the community to get, because then they would have to be up early.
And they would, you know.
They would? You think they would?
I think they would, because if you say this is what time, they don't want to miss it.
They don't want to miss it. No, you don't want to miss it.
Because you want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I want to talk to you about is the charitable focus.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have, whenever we've been able to, and I always say that because, you know, we've had to work hard around making sure we stay in the black, making sure our bills are paid.
Yes.
And so whenever, we're not a for-profit organization, but whenever we do have funds, we like to give it to the grassroots, very authentic type of charitable spaces. So we've sponsored young people on various sporting trips. We've sponsored, and we really started out even with the foster care. And so typically those spaces where no one is even looking at them.
Right.
We hear about them. And so Renee would say, the treasurer, she would say, Tucker, what have you heard about this year? Who are you thinking about? Where might we give a little? Last year we gave to Marco Warren's son's fund, a fund that they had established, and so we gave there.
Yeah.
We've done several spaces, and the entire list is on the website. But we've done several. A tennis kid who was doing tennis. Where we're really just trying to support. We don't have a lot.
Right.
We don't have a lot.
But the fact that it's part of kind of the ethos of the Derby is, I think it's important, because it speaks to that kind of community relationship. So it's not just the running, the community, the having a good time. It's also, how can we continue to give back?
Yeah.
Because if you're helping someone to attend a sporting event that they may not have been able to attend without your support, then you're paying it forward.
Absolutely.
You know?
Their parents still thank us. You know, they see us and they thank us still, because it's a lifesaver to many to get that type of support.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
I love
we like
it.
that. We like
See,
that.
I learned a little something today.
we have several who have shared with us, and we're considering several for this year. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and we'll find out about it, I guess, afterwards.
Yes, we always. But again, because we have to make sure this race is a little difficult to manage financially, because we can never really predict the exact
what it's going to be, right.
Some years we call it a bumper year, like more people than we expected, and then some years it's not as many as we expected, and so it can go like this.
Right.
So
So you adjust as needed. As needed. Okay. So for those who haven't signed up yet.
Yes.
Where should they be going? What should they be doing?
Exactly. Get to BermudaMarathon.pm website and click on register now. And that will take you to your space. You pay a little bit and off they get we have several sponsors who are giving coupons that they receive. So once they register, they will get access to those coupons and some really cool stuff that they can get as a participant. You want to share what some of them? Well, I'm trying to remember. We have the Icelandic has just put up a 24% discount. Atlantic Podiatry, yes. They're doing a discount. We have Sweat Suites that are doing a discount. Audio Solutions. Audiovisual. They're doing a discount on earphones or something. So it's all sorts of little things that people can get.
Which makes sense that they can need, because they're going to need that podiatry support after that.
Absolutely. That's what I thought. That was perfect. He's going to be very busy.
Yes, he is.
He's going to be very busy.
Listen, I have enjoyed our conversation.
It's always awesome.
I've enjoyed our conversation. I hope people are excited about the upcoming Derby and that they are registering now.
Yes.
And if they are not, they're going to get it in before, what did you say, the Wednesday?
The 21st. That's right.
21st.
The 21st. That's when we
it has to cut
number
off.
pickup. You come and pick up your number. Register and pick up your number at the same time.
Do you want to talk about where they should?
Well, at this point, it's at the Jack King Building at Botanical Gardens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here.
Yes, you did.
And if you haven't registered, register now.
Absolutely. And hydrate, people.
And maybe start doing a couple of laps.
Yeah,
as you ready yourself.
Absolutely.
Because it's in a couple of weeks.
So I would expect that many have done many miles.
Right, but between now and then.
They would have done it between January and now.
Oh.
They would have been running some miles. So that's why you could probably handle the 2-miler. But I wouldn't encourage it.
Or even next year.
You can plan for next year.
I'm gonna plan for next year.
365 days.
That's so good. I can get my mind right, right? You have to start with the mindset, right?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of it is mind.
Yeah, because once your body starts saying, we're done,
then you have to keep going.
You have to will yourself.
That's right. And that's what running is. It's really a lot of head. I think most sports are, but it's a lot of head space.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
And you know, because you did it.
I know. Trust me. I know exactly how it feels, what it looks like, and what it requires.
Yeah.
To get it to that finish line. The one gentleman called, he said he's done it like 3 times and he never makes it across the line.
Really?
So he says he's going to do the 2-mile walk. I said, well, you better make it across the line on that 2 mile. He's 70 years old now. 70 years. Yeah, 70 years old. And he says, I'm going to do that 2 miles. So when you get across that finish line, let me give you a medal.
Yes.
Let me give you something. He's tried 3 times and he keeps falling out like close to the finish line.
Are you serious?
I know. And that's really, really like disappointing.
It is.
It's hard. That's a hard one. But he said, I'm 70 and he's still strong. And so he's going to do that 2 mile.
Okay.
So that's what it's for.
He's going to get his medal this year.
Yes, he's going to get a medal today.
Well done. All right, Dr. Tucker, thank you so much again
for having us.
For minding your business.
And listen, thank you to BEDC, right?
Of course.
For stepping in and stepping up and really being for us a very awesome type of partnership because of where it is and what we stand for.
Yeah.
So it's in the neighborhood, right?
It is. It really is.
It's all in the neighborhood.
It made sense to us.
We've come to your neighborhood.
Welcome to the
neighborhood. Absolutely.
But no, thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you out there.
Yes, indeed. I'll see you. Yes, and I'll be looking for you.
Okay.
I'll be looking for you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.